See the truth reflecting back in 1,000 different eyes.
Welcome to the Fathers Making Progress podcast, the podcast where we explore fatherhood and its impact on families and communities. I'm your host, Terron Edwards, and today we're talking about one of my favorite topics, and that's co-parenting, healthy co-parenting. I'm joined here today with our co-parents of the year winners, both sets of co-parents of the year winners. And we're going to get into some real conversation about co-parenting and what works and, just hear their stories. First, this episode is sponsored by Community Care, who is our partner of the year, 2026 FMP Partners of the Year. So tune into the FMP Awards, which is going to be June 19th, so Juneteenth Day, Fatherhood Friday, at AmFam Field. Get your tickets. They are on fathersmakingprogress.org. So let's get into it. We are, like I said, we're joined here by our co-parents of the year, last year's winners, who are Tim Cole and Ashley Crawford. We're also joined here today by this year's winners, who are Miss Alexis Outlaw and Mr. Antoine Carter. We're here in the studio. Our 2026 winners of the year. Today we'll hear the stories. We'll hear some advice. We'll get into what works for them. We'll debunk some myths, and we'll just have a little bit of fun. But first of all, first of all, how we like to start is, who are you? Who you be? It's our first segment. Who you be? So go ahead and introduce yourself. So who wants to jump in? Who wants to jump in the fire first?
I'll jump out there. You don't want to leave too much dead space. My name is Tim Cole. I am father of Cameron Ashley Cole. She is the 7-year-old light of my life. I am an entrepreneur in tech as well as wine. Born and raised here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And happily, the first co-parent of the year award recipient.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now I didn't realize until just now. Your baby's middle name is Ashley, so she named after you.
Yes, because she will lose her last name at one day, maybe, but she will always carry my name with her throughout the entirety of her life. So there we go with that one.
I didn't realize that finesse was the move.
I saw it in your face.
On me.
Man.
Well done.
You were today years old when you realized that.
There was the decision for her to be her namesake, though. So that is.
I'm sorry. I cut your wisdom, though. Go ahead and introduce yourself again, Ashley.
Excuse me. So my name is Ashley Crawford, mother of Cameron Ashley Cole, my namesake. Oh, my gosh. I love her so much. So outside of my identity as a mom, I am a Black woman, which, Black folks, we love us. We're the best.
We love us, yes.
And then in the community, I work as a physician associate at a local community health center. So if anybody needs some health care, I'm in primary care, so always willing and able.
Plug on the way.
Primary care. And a Black woman? Primary care? Oh, stop.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Oh, hello, friends. Honor and pleasure to be here. My name is Alexis Outlaw, and I am the proud mother of my sunshine, Che Lewis Sebastian Carter. He's so extra, he needed 4 names. That's what we did. We said he needed 4 of them things. And Che is 13 years old. He is what is this? What is he? Center point guard? Give me
small forward.
Small forward. Okay. Small forward. Shout out to Royal Flush Elite, the AAU team he plays for.
Let's go.
As Che's mother, I am a expert in human resources. So by day, I work at Mount Mary University and teach business and human resources to women. I am a graduate of All Women's Learning. Shout out to Alverno College. And so if it's not business, HR, women, or children, one, you'll see me, but if it's not those things, you'll still see me because I am an avid golfer. Shout out to We Black We Golf. And a pickleball lover. So other things you didn't need to know, but I threw that in there just so you know. So when I'm not parenting, those are the fun things I do.
Hey, we hear about the whole person. So thank you, definitely. Last but not least.
Hey everybody. First, want to say congratulations to 2025's winners,
Yes,
Ashley and Tim.
Oh yeah, love.
It is a pleasure to follow you both because I see you both in different worlds, and you guys are both great parents. So congratulations. It's an honor. My name is Antoine Carter. I am Che's dad.
Hey.
You know, you originally are yourself, but once you get around your kids and your kids' friends, you're really just Che's dad. By day, I work as the director of philanthropy for the Milwaukee Public Library Foundation.
Oh, yeah.
So helping people support our 13 city branches. By night, I am trying to develop a 55-unit development. So
Oh, I know nothing about that. Ooh,
yeah,
okay.
just working at night like Batman.
Little slight work.
Trying to build it like Iron Man in the basement, and it shows up kind of 1.0. We'll go from there. But really, I am a lover of my people. I am working to be a better friend, a better cousin, a better uncle, better nephew, all that kind of stuff. I'm on a few boards. Shout out to Art Intersect MKE. Shout out to the MKE Hoops Collective. Shout out to all the other ones.
Love.
Just happy to be here and happy to talk. Happy to share.
Hey, happy to have you here. I want to start with Ashley and Tim. Ashley and Tim, you know, and I just kind of backtrack. Like I said, this is just so important to me, and you know, and this is why this is so important, because we just want to shed a light on positive co-parenting, you know, because co-parenting to me is where fatherhood was. Somebody was asking me, like, before we like, you've been doing this for 20 years, really? Like, I've been doing this for 20 years, believe it or not. And I remember 20 years ago, because we started technically in 2005. And so almost 21 years ago. So back in 2005, you know, like fatherhood was still in a place where it was kind of abstract for guys, a lot of guys to come in, you know, like, hey, we're going to sit in the room and talk. That was like kind of an abstract concept. I can get guys to come to the games. Yeah. I can get guys to come to the events. I can get guys to come and, hey, we're going to go do something for the kids or whatever, you know. But to get folks to really, you know, just do what is our core fatherhood program, back then it was kind of an abstract thing, you know. Now we're in a position where it's just like, you know, like people get it, you know. Now it's like, you know, co-parenting, unfortunately, like a lot of times it's kind of this mystic thing in our community. Like I have old grandmas and old ladies who will just come and they'll be like, hey, help my son out or help my grandson out. Oh, you know, not what's the problem, ma'am? Of course, we that's what we do. We community. Oh, man, he's just having such a tough time with his old lady, his ex-girlfriend. You know, she ain't letting him see his kids. She ain't letting this happen. She's just such a horrible person, blah, 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 blah. She got him on child support. Like, hey, I think we got a space for him and for her. Why the hell would we do that? I didn't ask you to help her. I asked you to help him, you know? So it's just like for people who are doing it right, you know, like I just really want to highlight people who just really get and understand that we're better together and that we're doing this, you know, so when we were doing this inaugural award search, I was just like, golly, like, you know, who's doing it right? Like, who's doing it the right way? And then a couple people, like, you know, essentially, then one of our board members, like, hey, I think I got the right folks for you. And they referred you all over, you know, and just told you, wrote this story out. The panel loved it, because that's another thing. I'm not picking the award. We actually have panelists who are picking the award winners, because I don't want smoke with nobody for not picking their daddy. So, so I try to stay out of that. But anyway, the panel loved it, and yeah. So being able, we you know, we came up with Ashley and Tim, you know. So it's like you've been co-parenting your daughter so effectively that you were honored as our inaugural co-parents of the year. So what has been the key to your successes? Like, what's made that work?
Forgiveness. I think that as people, we start off with the best intentions. And I think that we even start off with the best intentions with relationships, best intentions with even creating a child. And sometimes along the way, you just lose sight of the things that are important. You lose sight of one another. You lose sight of the fact that this is a person and was a friend, was a lover, was someone that was important to you. And then start moving a bit more selfishly. And there is a need to apologize and make amends in order to bridge the gaps, to find a new way to be able to create a relationship that is productive and that is effective for rearing your child.
Yeah. Oh, that's powerful, man.
Yeah, that was a good one. I would also add to that level of communication that is open and honest and transparent in order to build the trust.
Yeah.
I think when you start off and things are going good, then you have a baby, or things are going bad before you have the baby, and then you have the baby, and then now there's all these fractures. There is a level of mistrust on many levels. And as a woman who is carrying the child, this is my child, and I don't trust you. And then it becomes a whole level of controlling things that happen. And so to really be able to have honest, transparent, open communication to rebuild that trust, I think is essential.
Oh, yeah. I know in the class we talk about, and over the years I've learned too that, and I've told a lot of guys, and sometimes they try to run me out the room for this, but you know, when folks talk about the baby mama drama, and me just learning what I'm learning about the guys, and not judging, it just is what it is, right? But sometimes, you know, there's dissonance because it's like some of the problems that they have with their kid's mother could be steeped in the fact that the mother is just trying to do what's best for the child, and that trust doesn't exist anymore because of some of the things that might have eroded through the relationship and some of the things that need to be repaired. Like, you know, that's the dissonance. It's like, you know, if some things have led to me not dealing with you anymore, you know, it's not, you know, like me and my natural instinct and want to protect my child, it's not a good thing for me to have my baby be a part of that. You know?
I think that you also have to readjust your expectations, especially as a man. And especially as a man, and if you were in a relationship with your kid's mom at one point, when your relationship is going well and you are both on the same team and rocking together, there's a lot more grace and leeway that you get in that space.
Yeah.
Right? And so then you get used to the way that things operated in that relationship. But once that relationship is severed, brother, she ain't considering you or what you got going on when it comes to making decisions for the betterment of your kid. And even though you share that child, the impetus behind the decisions change. And we also have to be mindful of that change and be mindful of how to operate now that that change has occurred.
That's heavy. That's heavy. For Antoine and Alexis, you know, like you're our winners this year, and once again, you know, the panel loved the story, and I know one of the things that they really, because like, and I shared this in one of the earlier episodes, but I actually dug a little deeper on why people pick people, and one of the things that they said that really was intrigued them about you all's story is because you all have been married for 20 years, right?
We were together for 20 years.
20 together, yeah. 20 years. So 20 years. And
married for 10.
Married for 10, yeah. Together for 20 years, married for 10. So you had this long, you know, to get to, you know, togetherness. Like, after a long relationship and marriage, like now you're co-parenting. Like, so what has been the biggest challenge in that?
There's been a lot of challenges. I think the challenges evolve over time. I think when we first decided to split up, I think the first challenge was separating how we felt about the relationship with how we should care for our son. Ooh. And even like there was a moment where we were trying to figure out if we were going to be together. And even moving through those things while still trying to, in that good faith, still be good parents and still push things forward, I think was like the initial challenge. And I think things have evolved over time, just as children evolve over time.
Yeah.
I think two people who are, like Tim said, kind of used to an old routine of us being together and living life. And I think even as we split, one thing that I appreciate about Alexis is that she's very ambitious and she is looking to go as far as she can in life, which is a great example of what I would like my son to see in his mom. And so even the struggles of schedules, because she goes to events, my life is events, we have this child, how does one take care of him? And I think not only do we have these challenges where we still have to remind ourselves that the other is coming in good faith, the other one has great intentions. I think now we're reaching the point where we have a teenager, we have a young man, and the needs for a young man have evolved. And I think this is our first year dealing with a teenager.
Yeah. I'm afraid.
And
Call somebody.
And just learning, to me it's like a video game. We've definitely beat the 0 to 12 boss, right? We definitely beat that boss. Now we're on this teenage level, and all of the characters are different, and it takes a lot more skill to beat them. So I think we're storming as parents, just trying to figure out how to maneuver through teenage world, because the world is a lot different from when we were growing up, and even trying to project our childhoods onto this child who lives a different childhood. It takes awareness and understanding. And I think that's the things that we're growing into now.
Awareness and understanding, and that's what I'm sitting here thinking as I'm hearing you talk. Like you don't really thought through this. You all don't really thought this through. Trying
to. I think trying to be intentional. You can control the controllables, and that's probably all you can do. But try to control those as much as you can and be good examples. What would you say, Miss Alma?
So I would, when I think of kind of like this dynamic, I would say, one, it's not the preferred. And so
Definitely
I think
not.
that I had to get over that. I was kind of like, no, this is supposed to be the family. We're the fam. And what I actually, I think, had to realize over time is we will always be a family, but we are like a family reimagined.
Yeah.
And so I take great pride, I think, for my son and him, one, being able to see parents who are like civic-minded, civic-engaged. Like those are examples he's always had. But when we separated and, ultimately decided to get divorced, I think our son was the one who felt it the most. And when we talk about, like, where we're at as adults, I realized very quickly, like, I don't remember how old I was, maybe 35 or I don't remember. But anyways, mid-30s. And I remember I was going through it and feeling like, oh, my gosh, what is happening to me in my life? Yeah. And then I had to realize, girl, forget you. You 30. This little one, he's brand new. So even that, I think that rearing children is a call above yourself. Ooh. And so with that higher calling, if you will, I think for me, I really had to tap in. So, like, we're talking effeminate, the tribe, the Wakanda, the black woman, like all the things for me in order to kind of make this work. Because I think at the same time, I was dealing with extreme heartbreak. I think you said it at the top, like we were together for 20 years, like high school sweethearts. And one of the things I can say about Antoine, which it kind of always trips us up, and I think that's probably why we're the winners, we're friends. So like not always the friendliest of friends, but our original becoming was that of friendship. And so sometimes when like it gets terse or tumultuous or we're trying to figure something out, the friendship always comes back up. That's so beautiful. I feel like that's helpful in terms of like dealing with someone where sometimes it feels like a battle because you're trying to see one another's eyes or vision. And I just recently had said to someone, like with my co-parent, he has his own program. And so I wasn't willing to get with his program romantically, right? But he has his own program, and I have to respect that in terms of who we share. So.
All good. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing, And like you said, like the end of a, and I read this somewhere, and we teach this in our class, but it's just like dealing with all these emotions and dealing with all these changes and, but changes with the child, changes with our relationship. It's like dealing with the end of a relationship alone especially something that's been going on for a long time. Even if kids aren't even involved, like we'll take the kids out of it. It's just like mourning the death of a relationship could, mourning mourning the end of a relationship could be like mourning the death.
Oh, it's
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Feels like a body part.
For sure.
That's
Yeah.
what I'd liken it to.
Definitely, you know, even sometimes if it's for the best, but what I'm hearing and I think is beautiful is almost kind of like the death led to a phoenix, like it's a new relationship now.
No, I wouldn't say it's a death. I feel like for 20 years, like you don't have a car for 20 years. There are TV shows that don't last 20 years.
No doubt.
LeBron barely is
a long
at 20
time,
years.
is what you're saying.
That is a
We
long.
the MVPs
That's,
of this moment.
so although it ended, I'm very proud of the 20 years spent.
Same.
And Che is a
Manifestation of
fruit,
love. He was made
a
in
fruit
love.
of those
So good.
amazing, like the love that was the soil and all that stuff. And so I don't view it as like a death. I just view it as a transition.
Okay.
And so I
He said he doesn't take death. I say death. Okay. She was at the crossroads. Okay.
it was sad. It was.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. It was sad. It was sad.
You won't be lonely.
It was sad.
I was at the crossroads. However,
I'm gonna miss everybody.
right, I'm gonna miss everybody. But I think that that's the beauty of children and their innocence. I remember times as I was coping with the relational aspect and even like, you know, being upset or being mad at his daddy and stuff like that. There are a couple things in my time that I have learned that just don't work. And one of the things is a kid's going to love their parent because they love their parent. It don't matter what you say. It don't matter if you try to be shady. And so I actually, when it all shakes out, you know, the person I procreated with was someone I once loved in, you know, and still love, let me correct, but like love romantically.
Yeah.
And so even that, I'm always surprised by people who kind of like trash their former, and I get it, like there's layers, but like, you know what I mean? It's just
I do get it.
He the other half. He the other half of my fantasticness.
Right. And
So.
what's I do get it, and you don't even have to apologize. And I hope it's just like right now that's such a commonplace.
Yeah.
And it just rolls off the tongue so easy.
But I've been there. I've done it.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. We're here now. We're delivered.
Oh yeah.
But before.
For sure.
Oh yeah. But I'm just saying, like,
For sure.
what happens if societally, like you know, because you said some pretty profound things about thinking outside yourself and thinking about your children, and it's like, you know, like what happens as a society if, you know, if people clutch their pearls because I hate my ex-wife. I could say that in a room and people just, oh, okay, what else going on? What's for dinner?
Well, the thing is us being cool. So I think us being cool, like, you know,
People find it weird.
yeah, like people kind of want us to be mad at each other.
That's what I'm saying.
And when he shines, I shine. So when he gets promoted, when he gets opportunities, when our child sees the world, like it's still a part of that family. We still unify.
That's what I'm saying. See, we're in a society where that's weird. You know, but we're not in this society where if I'm in a room full of people and I say, man, I hate my, and people know that we had this long history.
That's
man, I hate
true.
my ex-wife. People are like, oh, okay, cool. Like you want to play some spades? Like it's just like nobody even questions it. Nobody even like what happens if we move to a society where I hate my ex-wife? Oh, that's weird, man. Let's talk about it. What's going on?
Right.
You know, like yeah. Actually, tell back to you all. Like you all came in at a really cool time. We're filming a docufilm, and you all were able to share, you know, part of your story as a part of the Better Together docufilm. You know, we're in post production. It should be coming out soon. Like, what was it like, and how do you all feel about being able to share your story? You know, in that
Wait,
way?
real quick. We're with movie stars?
You gotta buy the 5 movies and get your autographs.
Sweet Jesus.
No, that's so hilarious. Well, I'm truly humbled to have, you know, you walk through life and it's just like these are the things that you do normally. Like this is just you trying to figure life out, and to have people looking from afar to see like, okay, you guys are an example of co-parenting and what that could potentially look like, I think is a very humbling experience. And I don't take that lightly. You know, I always try to stay in the background because I'm just a shy gal. And I just like to do my work and keep pushing. So it's a truly humbling, and I appreciate the honor and the recognition.
Definitely appreciate you.
Especially because you don't never think you're going to get there. right? Like when you in the darkness, you don't think that the light is on the way. When it's midnight and dawn feels ages away, you don't think that you're gonna get there. And it takes intentionality to get there, right? Like, just as it takes intentionality to have a relationship, it takes intentionality to build and to maintain a relationship. It takes intentionality to build a new relationship, to create a new structure, and that is work and it's effort and it's laborious. In order to do that. And also, you don't even know if the work or the effort is even going to be worth it. Right? I think that is some of the kind of concern or why people may feel like, oh, I can say that I hate this person or whatever, and that feels like normal because it's safer to hate.
Ooh.
Yes.
Damn.
Yes, it is.
Dang, hey, right. You felt that too, man. That's just like breakthrough time.
No, I feel like you're trying to make me be accountable. I'm trying to sit here and think, have I been hating here and there?
It's safer.
It's safer to hate.
It's safer. It's safer to hate because you don't have to be vulnerable to hate. You get to keep that person at arm's length. You don't have to open up about your fears of being an inadequate parent. Yeah. You don't have to open up about your worries about how your child will grow up. You don't have to don't have to share your worries about how the world is changing around them and how things aren't the way that they used to be. You don't have to do that when you're at odds with someone.
And you don't have to be wrong when you hate.
You don't.
Man.
Even when you're wrong, I can still be right because it's just me.
That's it.
That is true.
Woo.
But when you actually open yourself up to, as you say, be better together, that is a generative act. But that is an act that requires sacrifice. It's an act that requires work. It's an act that requires that you roll your sleeves up and that you deal with your own stuff and that you deal with your own preconceived notions and that you deal with your own failures and your own heartbreaks and your own and your own hurt, and then move beyond that and figure out how you can be better together and be better for the kids that make the difference.
Most definitely. Man, that's real. That's real. Man, this year's Co-Parents of the Year, you are like, so how does it feel to receive that honor and to get that love?
So can I be honest?
Yeah.
Literally, when I was contacted, I was like, what? Particularly because it has felt, so this is what I'll say. Much like relationship, I remember back in the day when they'd be like, relationships are 50-50.
Yeah.
Right? And then I don't know, maybe last 5 years there'd be this thing where it'd be like, that's not true. Nothing's 50-50. Sometimes it's 90, sometimes it's 10, so on and so. And then even like in ending a relationship, I know part of me, as we uncoupled, I was kind of like the 80-20. You know, there's these good parts, but then there's this part that, you know, like that. And so I make that mention because I realized very quickly in co-parenting, it's 100 over here all the time, right? And sometimes we have to tap into each other if, like, he has a thing and he needs me to go pick up, or he has practice, or so on and so forth. So I'm saying that to really make this connection, that I found that being in relationship is like so super important. In when I got the call, like, you as your co-parent, it was very validating. But I had a moment where I was like, oh, but we be tripping sometimes. Like, are they sure they want to pick us? Because I definitely was like, like, y'all, what Drake do with the Twitter fingers? I done had some Twitter fingers for this mofo. So I was like, hold on, like, who said it? And then, I'll be honest, the business lady in me, I went to the website to look up the award and just see, like, in terms of what it represents, what it means, the idea, the concept, so on and so forth. And I'm aware of Fathers Making Progress, but I think I wanted to do the dive myself to kind of be like, what does this mean for me? Yeah. And I realized something. This distinguishment, right, is really less about the co-piece, which is important, but it's also about the parent. Because we would have to be good parents to start.
That's right.
To even to get to the co.
Right.
That's right.
So that for me was kind of like the, oh, dang, girl, you are doing it. Like, we have a quality human being who, you know what I mean? So the parenting's happening and we're getting, accolades for the co-part. And the co-part's been very challenging, but here we are. So when you ask, I'll be honest, I was like, who, me? Are you sure? And I had to talk to my co-parent because I was just like, are you sure? Are we sure? So that was my experience. What about you, Carter?
Well, you definitely deserve it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I would say this has been very interesting. I think this year I've been dealing with a lot. Even I feel like I should talk about it here, real talk, because it's about my dad.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's about my dad. My father is dying.
Oh.
He's in hospice, and I don't have a relationship with him. He was never in my life. He was in the streets and suffered from mental issues and had a long journey that right now we're not even connected enough for him to share. And I think getting this has been kind of bittersweet in a sense, because I don't necessarily know if I had any examples of what the success in this looks like. Like, I grew up around drug dealers. They wasn't 5 baby mamas, 8 kids. My dad wasn't around. My stepdad was around, but I don't necessarily know if he left the best example for me in how he lived. And so I don't necessarily feel like I have the skills or the experience
You're in development every day.
or the prior history to know what success looks like. And so I'm just a dude trying, just trying to be present, just trying to have an open door for my kid, and just trying to give as much of 100 as I can, because I don't necessarily have a starting point to refer to. So this has been really good, but I would honestly say, like, most of it is because she's an amazing mother. Like,
Oh, that's gonna make me cry.
I wouldn't.
Why y'all got
got some
this is about the
tissues.
progress?
No,
Why y'all
like
progressively making me
it's
cry?
true. Our son is an amazing young man who is growing and learning, and I am happy that we are co-parents. I imagine this journey has been difficult for you. It's been difficult for me, but I am happy that we share a son, and it has been a pleasure to co-parent thus far.
Man, that's awesome. Man.
That's awesome. I appreciate that. I received that as well, sir. And I always say, like, the interesting thing, and I don't know, the bitterness piece, because, like, I had bitter points, but one of the things, like, when I recollect, I'm like, the marriage, the baby, the wedding, it was fun. So it's funny to me as I'm in life number 2 and things are kind of different with co-parenting. I really appreciate it because I'm kind of like, that was hella fun. Like, it's okay that it didn't last forever.
Right.
And so even that, you know, like 20 years or whatnot, it's sometimes interesting to me how, like, people will hold on to something for 20 years, maybe in here, right? But they don't want to hold on to anything else that's 20 years old. And if something is 20 years old, it's vintage. It's valuable.
Oh, yeah.
It's important. You know what I mean? So, gang, that's all.
And I just want to backtrack to what you were saying, Antoine. You know, because a lot of us just have to run out and guess, man. Like, you know, that's not. Even, I felt, you know, I want to make space for that, you know, and what you're going through with your dad, man, and I'll say, trying and that willingness, you know, and that availability. I mean, don't undersell, man, because hey, I mean, you are showing up. Best believe.
And if I could give some flowers as co-parent, one of the things I'll say is, so I met Antoine Carter when I was 16 years old.
Okay.
And you know when you run people down and you're like, what's your favorite color? What's this? What's that? Right? He let me know that he was going, one day, he was going to have a child. And he wanted a son. And when he had a son, he was going to name him Che Sebastian Carter. That was probably like first 5 things he said to me. And I remember being like, okay, he got a baby name, but I ain't having no baby. And so it was interesting when we found out Che was coming. I knew right away he was a boy, and the adoration. So I will say to you, co-parent, while your journey has been what it is, I always say to our son, he feels from you, even if it is the best you have because of what you didn't have. You know what I mean? It's in love. So that's the thing. I actually don't even spend no time trying to talk crap about this, man, because it don't matter. He not listening. My son's like, gang, gang, gang. Me and him all day. I'm like, but I'm the mama. And I actually had to learn, too, and I don't know if you feel like this as well, Ashley, but, like, it's my job as the mom to nurture. And so with that nurturing piece, sometimes I have to take the L, right? Because, like, the nurture is the bigger requirement.
Yeah.
And so, and I don't know if that feels like that. Like, I don't know what dads have, but like, I don't know. The nurture for me is always the point.
And I think that has kind of been, and I don't know. There's been moments I've not liked you as a person, but the dad that you've always been, like I've never had a negative word to say. I have friends who are like, oh my gosh, my baby daddy, and blah, blah, blah.
I don't even call him my baby daddy.
I'm just looking like left and right, like, oh, I'm so sorry you got to go through that because I ain't had to not one day.
Right.
And so there is nothing negatively for me in our experience from a father perspective. And even in the beginning, you know, I maybe I had some sly stuff to say, but she was a baby, so she couldn't understand what was being said.
She understands now, though.
But yeah, I think it's always like, and two, I didn't have my dad growing up, and so that for me was kind of the push as well to say, well, my daughter has a dad, and there was a piece where, like, not jealousy bad, but like, I wish I had that,
you see,
and so
you
I'm never going to block her love that she has for her dad. So that I think that's that nurturing of like, I gotta be mom, and I never want her to hear me say a negative word about her dad, even though.
Right. It's okay. You tell somebody else.
And what I'm hearing is like kind of like those turning points. You know, those turning points, and you actually kind of even alluded to it, Tim. Like, man, it was some dark, stormy nights, but it was some sunny days. Where did those turning points come in? Like how did it turn sunny from them dark, stormy days?
I think that continuing to find a way to center Cameron was what led to the sunny points. Yeah. We had actually had a come to Jesus moment.
Okay.
And this was after probably like 9 months of like Cold War silence. Oh, like we were,
9 months.
Yeah, we was dropping off.
Dead silent, not a word. Ignore, block.
We was dropping off at Johnson Creek because she was in Madison pursuing her graduate degree, and I was still in Milwaukee. And Cameron's life was still like in Milwaukee, doctor, daycare, all of like those things. And so Cameron would spend essentially like 4 days during the week with me, and then the weekends with mom. We would drop off at Johnson Creek because that was the halfway point. Yep. Mm-hmm. And it was cars pull up, doors open, diaper bag and baby exchange, get back in the cars, drive away. Aww. Wasn't no hi, wasn't no how you doing.
Wait, but being around y'all don't even give that. Like, you want to be like that.
Those were dark days.
It was like that.
It was like that.
Those were dark days.
It was like that. And so we had a come to Jesus moment where we wrote letters to one another to showcase where were all of the areas that we hurt one another in the last 5 years.
Oh, wow. Wait a second. Let me text myself.
And so
say what again?
And so we went, I think Cameron was 2 at the time, so we still even went like 3 years before she was born to really talk through and find some of the impetus of the breakdowns in our relationship. And I was hopeful about this exercise, but I didn't know what to expect. And when she apologized to me, I said, Lord, the Savior lives. Do you hear me? When there was an apology like in there, and it was a good apology too. It wasn't one of those weak, like, I'm sorry that you got hurt and you know what I'm saying that you suck. It was very like sincere. And I was just like, I was blown away because I wasn't prepared or didn't expect that. And from there, I also had to apologize and lay my things bare and everything. But that was a space where we were able to, as she had said before, find that honest and transparent communication and really start to build back trust again. And that was kind of a launch pad for what came next. And then we did small projects to continue to work on our trust for one another and be able to depend on one another. And then we finally did a birthday together.
Oh, okay.
We finally did a birthday together. We planned out and decided what each of us was going to do, and we both showed up and did all of the things and was able to do that successfully. And then continued to just build from there. And that's how we worked our way back to one another and back to a space where we were actually parenting collaboratively instead of just parallel parenting.
Man, parenting collaborative instead of
amazing,
parallel.
y'all.
It is. It is.
And we're following them. Oh my God!
Right?
And that
Wow.
exercise is cold, right?
That's
Like
amazing.
I'm with you, Alexis. I'm gonna write that down.
Right.
Like, you know, how do we hurt ways we hurt each other over the past 5 years? Yeah, that had to be powerful. Yeah, for real. Anything here like turning points?
I would say I think we've always had the same North Star for Che.
Okay.
And I think because of that, I actually think in tough times with him, we've never really not been a team.
We always I say to Che, you're the best thing we ever did together, and so you're always going to get our best. That's literally what I tell him all the time. I'm like, you're the greatest thing we because yeah.
But I can't really think of times. I think Che in trouble unites us weirdly
Yeah. That's
because we band together because we have
But
the
that's
same
what
North
family
Star.
does. That's why I'm telling
You know,
you, it's the reimagined
So,
family.
like-
It is very much so.
So like I think for him, we've been able to always kind of put us to the side. Like we could be arguing before we get to parent teacher conference, but at parent teacher
that was
conference,
that 1 year. That was only that 1 year.
we are back to back. Martin Lawrence and Will Smith bad boys.
Bad boys
Hey.
for life. As an outlaw,
Right.
you said it. Period.
But and then we'll deal with him and then we'll handle us later. But I think he has been something where because we see the same vision for him.
That's it.
I think we have been able to remove our egos and our issues aside for those particular situations. Those issues still arise and we still have to deal with them. But I think we've done a good job at that.
Yeah. I agree.
That's amazing.
So Che, that's CHE, like Che Guevara.
Yeah.
Yes,
There we
that's
go.
what he's named after.
Oh yeah. So, and that's important, and that's it, because y'all are Che Inc. That's it. Yeah, I mean, North Star.
Che Senior. That's what we used to call it.
Yeah, I'm chasing.
But it's like, there's a vision, there's a purpose, and just keeping that at the forefront no matter what. That's a beautiful thing, and especially, I mean, you talk about those teenage years, and you're talking about the next level and the next boss.
Yeah.
One of the things we talk about in the program, because there are lots of children that just really get lost there when their parents are kind of going through that. They get lost right there, y'all seen the Leonardo DiCaprio movie Catch Me If You Can, right?
Yeah.
Frank Abagnale Jr., who the character was based off of, he wrote in his book, and he talked about, because basically he ran cons, he ran schemes. Yeah. He said, basically when he was a teenager and his parents got divorced, he said he first learned how to run his cons on them. That's where he first learned, because it's like it was such division. It was such, just people, capping from him. Hey, it's better over here, isn't it? Skip what mom has over there going on. It's better over here, isn't it? Skip what dad. Yeah, your mom's horrible because she did this and this. Your dad's horrible because he did. It's like children play. They play you.
Yeah.
If they're in that environment, it becomes toxic. It's like, sounds like they're winning, but it's terrible for them and it's terrible for you.
So I will say to that, because dealing with this teenager, one of the things I'll say that has been valuable has been like mental help, therapy.
Yeah.
And I lift all those things up because I have been dealing with I don't know if the word's juxtaposition of like him being a teenager, right? And then him dealing with kind of like mom and dad being separated, new life, new thing like that. And so sometimes it's hard because the black mama in me, right, when I was growing up and I'd be like, Mom, I'm sad. She'd be like, go pray. Go pray. Go talk to Jesus. Like nobody was making connections to kind of my mental health and wellness, regulation, any of that. And so I have found in that nurturing aspect for my son, I almost have to be a little more thoughtful to him because the words or the things or as he's challenged with stuff, I feel like sometimes the consequence of the divorce is not necessarily always feeling seen, because two people had to go do adult things and he's still the kid in the middle.
Yeah.
And so I say that just because that for me has been my probably big deal. I'm trying to be very thoughtful to his mental, because his physical has changed so much. So.
Kids in the middle, and that's what we got to avoid. I appreciate that. Now it's time for facts or cap. You know, this is where I throw out some statements, and you all decide if it's facts, or if it's cap. Facts or cap, co-parenting edition. So, moms have more of a right to children than dads. Facts or cap?
You said what? Say that one more time.
Moms have more of a right to children than dads.
Absolutely. No, I'm just kidding. That's JK. I'm just kidding. Cap.
Cap.
Moms have more of a right to kids than dads. Mm-hmm. I feel like I know so many mamas who be like, can this man take this baby? So
I know many too. I think I would absolutely say that is cap. But I think in different spaces of growth and development, just in terms of what we were talking about earlier of like there's a 90-10, 80-20, 50-50, 60-40. I think in the spaces that mom is needed or the spaces that dad is needed differ throughout the stages of development that the child goes through. And we have to honor that. Again, what is that doing? Putting the child first and their needs first.
Man, that's so important.
I love it.
Okay, y'all want another one?
Yeah, let's keep on.
Okay. You can't co-parent effectively if one parent is in a new relationship. Facts or cap?
Cap.
That's cap.
Ooh.
That's cap. I think what you... I don't really care about who you talking to.
I do. I care who he talks to.
Like-
particularly around the idea of your partner is who steps in when I'm not. So in my mind, I care in the sense of like, well, I trust you to make good judgment. If my baby come home and is like, so-and-so did the thing, I may inquire. I may ask a thing or two. Like, so my thing would be, I'll stop there.
Well,
I do care.
If you chose,
in that sense.
if you chose me for 20 years, I imagine you have good taste, and so the next person
I like that, man.
should still be quality.
I like that.
So, like, I trust your judgment of a person who you would bring next to our child, and so I think for me, that's. I know when I was don't care, like I sound like real insensitive. However, it's not that I don't care. It's that I trust that you will not bring someone who does not align with our North Star for Che around.
Mm-hmm.
Phil. What y'all think? Facts or cap?
I mean, I think that's cap, but there's also only so much you can do, right? Like, what happens over at that house is what happens at that house.
The program.
What happens at this house is what
that
happens
program
at this
is
house.
happening. Yeah.
Right, and so I think that to your point, you have to trust your co-parent to make good decisions. And then if there is a need for realignment, then that's a conversation that you have, right? But I think that ultimately you still have to live your life. Right?
Yeah.
You still got to live your life, and if you decide that your life is a life of celibacy and loneliness, then, that's right on.
Why is that the alternative, though? That's all I'm saying. I mean, I wasn't going to tell y'all about my 3 boyfriends. I've got a husband no more, but I might have a... I'm just kidding.
Which is fine. That's the or, right? Like, if that's the one way, then you can do that, but that likely is not how it's going to align. And so creating space and respect for the choices of your co-parent is
crucial,
essential.
Because I think there's lessons in them. I think for me, I actually thought it would be beneficial for him to see me date, to see me court a woman, to see me present, like, show someone I care, alongside making sure she gets flowers on her birthday and she gets treated well on Mother's Day. But I felt as a dad with my son, I felt like I had no example of that. And so, like, my friends, my OGs would be like, call her baby mama, and eventually she'll become your baby mama. That's terrible advice. And so it's crazy. So rather than that, I would much rather him see me court or try and see what it looks like. I don't know. It's something that I tried.
Oh yeah, I share, man. It's, and I've shared this a lot on this show, but like my co-parenting experience was in so many ways just a great lesson on what not to do. Like,
did it lead you to create this, if you will?
It was a big part of it. Outside of the science that shows like this is the evolution of fatherhood programs, and I've talked about that before. Just like what we do and what we instill in our spaces and our guys only works if things are going on well. They have access to their children. So this is essential in that sense. But just with like I was divorced by 30, and man, like I'm remarried, and I'll tell you, I mean, it's just been crazy chaotic. Like my I wasn't even able to introduce. I was by myself for a good 6 months or so. Before I even entertained dating anybody, and I didn't even get a chance to introduce my sons to who will become my wife. Like, their mom like stalked her and found her and told them it was just crazy. But okay, it was wild and oh no you can tell me too. But like even like I tried to, because I hear what you're saying too, Alexis, because like I tried to have them meet each other, and it was just so like it's just so much unwillingness just to do. Put the kids first.
My son hit me up one day and he's like, "Dad, there's this girl who I like or likes me, and she asked me to buy her some Lululemon." And then the very next text message was, "I'm 12 years old." So like,
well done, Jay. Well done.
Right? And so that made me think he needs to see like, that is a gift for someone who you care about. I don't know if y'all have reached that level yet, but I thought in those situations, not necessarily like bringing him to first dates, but of course, after a while, when you meet somebody, introduce them, let them see you, buy someone flowers, let them see you. Because I did not see that.
Yeah.
I did not see that.
Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to do that. It was... But I agree. I mean, I think definitely, but
I was gonna say, so I think my vantage point on like dating and relationship is a little bit different, because I think it's like going back to the position, I feel like I'm maybe a little more self-imposed, but I think it was like I was trying to get myself together and make sure I was kind of all okay.
Most definitely.
In terms of like,
that's important.
Antoine and I grew up. So you had mentioned that thing about parallel parenting. Imagine when you're with someone, you got the baby, and then you're growing up at the same time, so even for us, when I think of the end of our relationship, I think it ended more so because we just grew apart, had different things, but our baby, made it bearable. But when I think of like other relationships and other dynamics, I just think it's something that's hard to do, right? Because a kid is always going to look at them two people who made them and be like, I see y'all standing by each other. I see y'all sharing a popsicle. I see y'all eating chips. Like, I feel like when we sit in the stands at our son's game, he is like a better player because he sees mom and dad. And so for those reasons alone, we're going to team up forever.
Let's go. Man, I love it. I love it.
Lock it up.
Any last thoughts? Because I just got the signal. We got to get off. We got to go. We got to wrap it up. But hey, man, I just really appreciated you all being here. First of all, I just wanted to make sure I got that in there.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, thank you for being here. Any last thoughts? Anybody got anything coming up that they wanted to share to the world, or anything before we wrap up and get out of here?
I mean, I hate to... No, actually, I don't hate it. For any of you who are in the market for human resources or business consultative support, when I am not being Che Carter's mom, I'm a freelance human resources consultant. AB Outlaw Consulting can help get you and your needs together. That's all I got. Thank you.
Sounds good to me. Definitely. Anything else? Anything else?
God is good.
God is good.
Thank you for creating a space for this. This is so important.
Man, thank y'all for being here. Most definitely. Well, co-parenting, like I said, like it takes a village. No child has ever, died from having too much love, but many have died from not having enough. So, this is really important to me. This is really important to our community. We got to do something better, and we have some shining examples here. If you've never seen it done before, if you tuned into the show, you done seen it done for sure. So, hey, until the next show, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching us. Stay present, stay positive, and stay making progress. Peace.
Fathers making progress, FMP. Every day I strive to be a better me. Whole lot of scars, couple felonies. I know a lot of gang, that's why they scared.